And we're live.
Good morning, and I'm hereby calling to order the meeting of the Connecticut Board of Regents for Higher Education and our Executive Committee. I appreciate everybody taking the time today. And though there are not a great many, let's for the record ask Pam to call the roll and record it.
Thank you, Chair Fleury. And the roll call, Chair Fleury.
Here.
Regent Harris.
Here.
Regent Balducci.
Here.
Regent Jimenez.
Here.
Regent Wright.
Here.
Regent Gray Kemp. Absence is noted. Chair Fleury, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Thanks again to everyone for being here. I know a couple of you are facing some challenging conditions with this morning's deluge. And for everybody, your contribution of time here is valued considering all the other obligations, commitments, and demands that you have. So thanks again for prioritizing this important work. Let me ask for a motion to amend our agenda in the following way. We do not need to do an executive session today, so I'd like a motion to amend the agenda to remove the executive session item.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Great, thank you. All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I think that's everybody. So I think now we have to move the agenda as amended. A motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so the agenda is approved and adopted as amended. I wanted to take a moment before we get into the really brief but important business today to just acknowledge a couple of events here. I think the entire board is aware that our fellow Regent Felice Gray Kemp tragically lost her husband recently, suddenly. Herbert was memorialized, a beautiful obituary, a beautiful service, and a viewing or wake, which I attended down in New Haven, where I saw Felice, and on behalf of all of you and the board and the office, echoed our collective condolences. We know Felice is an extraordinarily resilient and strong person. She was holding up beautifully. I got to meet her young son, their young son, Evan, a fine young man who's obviously confronted with a devastating change in his life. But he has a very strong, oh, there you are, Felice, I'm sorry, a very strong mom to carry him through. And it was really beautiful to meet Felice's family. But Felice, I was just acknowledging your great loss, and frankly, I'm amazed and delighted to see you with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, and I wanted to thank the Regents for and the rest of our team for your expressions of love and sympathy, directly, indirectly, and I have a raft of cards for which I will be writing thank yous from to many of you, and it was a good life with him, and I miss him. I'm sitting in his office. I'm kind of a messy Marvin, and I found this note yesterday he'd left: "Leave no trace," which was his nice way to say, "Don't gunk my office up." So he's sending me messages, and he's with me, and I'm going to be leaning on you because I've been with that guy my whole life, and it's just a little surreal, but yeah, we're strong, and God is good, and He's got all of us. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Felice. We're with you. On a much lighter but also important note, wanted to say that I had the opportunity recently to spend time with our newest regent who will be joining us, Rick Porth. Many of you know Rick from his years leading the Region Council of Governments, also being in various nonprofit capacities, from foundations to nonprofit organizations and service providers. Rick's just first-rate individual, who the governor has seen fit to appoint to this board. I know you're all going to appreciate working with him. If you haven't known Rick, you will soon. So that's good news, and we look forward to having Rick with us soon. So with those matters covered, let me ask for a motion to approve the June 16th meeting minutes. Can we have a motion?
So moved.
A second? Any discussion or amendments on the June 16th minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed or abstaining on the minutes? No controversy there. That's a good thing. So we have our minutes adopted. And now it's my pleasure to turn it over to President Cheng.
Thank you, Chair Fleury, and thank you to all of our regents, and especially to Felice. Thank you so much for being here. You're showing incredible fortitude and strength, and as Matt said, you know, our thoughts are certainly with you, and you know, whatever we can do to be supportive, we're certainly here for you. So thank you again for everything. I do have a series of bullets here to update on. I will try to be brief, but these are all very positive, solid things. I counted on the calendar. I believe today is day 49 for me on the job, and I feel pretty good about it. I don't think I'll be giving you an update every 49 days, but I'll certainly be in consistent communication about things. So. We'll start with COVID. This will be discussed in much more detail, but communications were recently sent to all of our campus and institutional leaders with our guidance for the fall. Alice and the whole team have worked incredibly hard, and that means not just the system office team, but our campus leaders in this area as well. So we feel good about this guidance. Of course, things continue to evolve, and we will continue to be as nimble as possible to ensure that we have as safe and secure a return for all of our campuses going into the opening of the semester, which is just 1 week away. Another quick update is in our dispersal of federal funds to students in terms of relief at the community colleges. And so you'll remember a few weeks back, we announced $17 million in debt relief for community college students. We recently announced that there would be another $58 million in direct funding support relief going to over 80,000 of our students, community college students. This will be, you know, also including, I'm sorry, I misspoke. With this, there will also be a similar round of dispersals at the university level at approximately $37 million is what we are estimating. So there's a great amount of relief going directly to our students right now. We think this is a great thing. We're going to utilize these federal relief funds as much as possible to help our students. We want them to come back to the classroom. We want them to get vaccinated, and we want them to be here to take part in the educational journey that we know that we can really provide them. So feel very good about how we're doing that. You know, going back now, even before I started, but I was a part of this visit, you know, Chair Fleury, I and the CT State team did a visit with our accrediting body, NETCHI. We visited up in Maine for the day to give them an update on our status. The meeting went very well. The whole team did a great job. Chair Fleury did a great job representing us and where we are right now and how important it is to have their support. We were very happy to receive a few weeks later an encouraging letter from them that essentially invited us to submit our substantive change report, which we will be doing by the end of the fall or the beginning of the spring. So we're right on schedule. Very, very good progress being made there. And I'll just say again, kudos to our entire team, system office, our community college leaders, the new CT State administration, that team. Everyone is just firing on all cylinders. It's not always pretty. Not every day is wine and roses, but we are really grinding away, working together to get it done. So I'm truly thrilled and really heartened by the progress. I have great confidence that we are exactly where we need to be, and we're going to get this done. So what have I been doing for 49 days? Well, there's a lot, and part of that has been educating myself, getting out there, getting to know all the campuses, know all the leaders, getting to really be a part of the communities and the local societies that drive our campuses across the state. So I've begun kind of preliminary visits to campuses. You can see today I'm wearing my Central Blue Devils gear. I just visited with them on Tuesday. On Monday, I was at WestCon, got to meet with the presidents and their leadership teams, getting to just listening to where they are, what's on their minds. And again, what can we as a system office and what can I as a system president do to help them, to put them in a position that they can succeed? And so those conversations have gone very well. I have more visits coming up in the next couple of weeks. And then phase 2 of that will be throughout the fall, getting to every single campus at least once and spending at least 1, if not 2 days meeting with all constituents, faculty, staff, students, donors, community leaders, elected officials as we see fit. We're going to go out there, we're going to meet with everyone, we're going to listen to everyone. And this way we are going to gain as much input and context as possible as we begin to develop both short and long-term strategies for the system and for each of our campuses in each of our regions. So I feel very good about that. In the same vein, have been meeting more with community and corporate and government partners to, again, understand where they are, what they would like to see from us, to have that dialogue, to have that open line of communication so that we do have clear communications and understanding and ultimately work together to achieve shared goals and to come to the outcomes that we all want. So those conversations continue as well. They will be ongoing for a long, long time, because I think that's how we're going to be successful. All of that touches on what do we as an institution or multiple institutions of public higher education do. We're continuing to have these really intense discussions about aligning our academic value proposition with the needs of community, society, government. Ultimately, how do we become a major part of the engine of economic development and workforce development? And so that's not an easy thing to do. I will tell you that much of the work that we are doing right now, coming from the academic side of the house, it is workforce aligned. We are working and helping people to get better jobs and better careers. We are helping to drive our economic development in our communities. But we can continue to do a better job. We will continue to do a better job. And it is through this process that we are going to do so. So the last thing I'll say for now is that you all heard that the governor made an announcement that there would be raises for state management employees. That announcement from the governor's office did not include the CSCU system. So we have begun some modeling from the system office that we are working with the members of the board to kind of run through some ideas, run through some numbers and models. We're going to see what we can do, so those conversations have begun, and I think we'll try to find a way to make some progress there. So those conclude my updates for now. And again, I'm always available for further discussion as needed. So thank you.
Thank you, President Cheng. We appreciate the update and tremendous amount of work prior to and now that you're officially with us. It's appreciated and great to be moving in such a positive direction, albeit with the customary array of challenges ahead. We have a couple resolutions, and these are things that for the bylaws and charter come to the board and might generally come in the context of a consent agenda or a committee's report on a more routine kind of basis, but they're not bad things at all, and we want to get them done in a timely manner. The first is great news, the acceptance of a gift at Gateway Community College in the Automotive Technology Program. And we're really delighted that we're joined today by the campus CEO, Dr. Brown, to tell us a little about that. And once he does, I'll ask for a motion, a second, any discussion, and we'll hopefully proceed with this. Dr. Brown, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. And also would like to acknowledge and express our sympathies, best wishes, prayers for Regent Gray Kemp. We've known each other for some years, and you know, I want to agree that you have been holding up remarkably through all of this, and not just the CSU community, but the larger community as well. We are with you and behind you. Let us know what you need. And President Chang, this is my first time sort of like seeing you face to face since you were going through the interview process. So would like to express my greetings and welcome to you. We are looking forward to your visit to the finest institute, one of the finest institutions in the system when you get to Gateway. So we are very much looking forward to meeting you and engaging with you over the next several weeks. So the donation, the Gateway Community College, as I'm sure you all know, has an automotive program, one of, I believe, two in the state. Naugatuck Valley is the other, that offers the associate's degree. And within that, we have several sort of specialty certifications whereby different automobile manufacturers, students, graduates can become certified to work with those vehicles in particular. And in order for those programs to be successful and relevant, the college is the recipient, actually quite regularly from GM, of vehicles so that students are learning and training in an experiential kind of way on the kinds of vehicles that they would then be expected to be working on when they graduate and get their jobs. So the reason we're here before you, the board, of course, has a policy that any donations over $7,500 need to be accepted by the board. But GM donates their vehicles when they want to, and that does not always or necessarily coincide with the board's meetings. I believe I forgot what, I think it was in the fall of last year, we kind of went quickly to the finance committee because that was the board subgroup that was meeting next. And this time it's the executive committee. We'd absolutely want to adhere to board policy with regards to accepting gifts, but this time we were fortunate that the vehicle is still available, but generally speaking, GM wants to move these as quickly as possible to get them off their books. They have other programs that they support around the country, and we're really don't want to miss out on these opportunities. So I want to also express my appreciation to the executive committee for entertaining this now so that we can make sure to get this vehicle. Just so you all know, the arrangement that we have with GM, they donate vehicles to us, and then we down donate vehicles to high school programs. So I would say that not only is accepting this vehicle beneficial to us now, it is also beneficial to the high schools and in some ways the larger community. And creates a really quite a nice ecosystem of relationships and pathways between secondary education, the technical schools, us, and ultimately the employer. So it's a Chevy Equinox. I believe it's valued at somewhere around $20,000. Sometimes we know in advance they're going to do this. Other times we don't. So again, I appreciate your consideration and flexibility with this particular gift.
Thank you. Congratulations. And
Thank
drive
you.
safely. Are there any questions or comments?
Just
Excuse
a
me, Chair Fleury, we
simple
need,
question.
excuse me, before we take questions or discussion, we need a first and a second, please.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Do.
Okay.
Elise?
Okay. Now, just curious, you know, sort of, I tend to be very sort of, I pick up nits. You said the car was worth 20,000 and in
I
the
believe so.
resolution.
I can look back very quickly.
Well, no, the reason why I'm asking, the resolution says it's market value, it's 7,652 and 6
Sure,
cents.
I can elaborate on that. The actual
Okay.
value, manufacturer's retail price is about $20,000 to $25,000. The market value in the donation is $7,600. The vehicle under the title cannot be driven on the road, so it's specific to lab purposes. So it doesn't have the same value that a
Okay, got it.
registered would have.
Thanks, Keith.
Any other questions or comments? All right, it's moved and seconded. All in favor of the resolution? Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? So it's approved. And we're good on that.
Thank you all very much. We will let GM know, and hopefully it will actually be here in time for the fall semester.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Dr. Brown. Continued
All
good work and good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Do you
All
need
right.
me for the next resolution, or do you have everything you need? Pamela?
We have everything we need, Dr. Brown. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Thank you all. Have a
More
fantastic
importantly,
day.
I hope you have everything you need.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, if you want to know what else, I'll be happy to share that with you. But you all want to have a timely meeting, so we'll talk about that later.
I might have known. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Well done. All right. Now we have the correction. I think Regent Wright said she's one for the nits. So this is right up your alley, Regent Wright. A correction of a program name, business manager, sport management option. And Ken Klesnick, VP of Academic Affairs, is with us to explain this one. Then we will do a motion and a second before questions and comments and a vote.
Thank you, Chair Fleury. Let me begin, Regent Greg Kemp, by offering my condolences. I can't imagine what it's like to lose a lifelong partner. It's amazing to see you here. It's also very heartwarming to see all the support from this group. So please accept my condolences.
Thank you.
I want to thank the committee for taking this under consideration. This is also a matter of timing. For programs to be approved by OHE so that campuses can offer them, they have to have accurate names in their board resolutions when they're sent to the OHE. And we had the wrong name for the program, so we've corrected it. And this will allow us to send it to OHE as soon as the resolution is available and numbered, so that then we can make the program available. And the institution can award the credits and the credential for the program. So it's a fairly straightforward process. I appreciate the timing issue, because if we had waited for the full board meeting, we'd be late for the semester for this to be available for students.
Thank you. Any questions? Comments?
First and a second, please.
First.
So moved.
Thank you.
The resolution's in the advanced materials, fairly straight ahead. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is approved. The resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So Alice Pritchard, a bit more on COVID.
I'm happy to do that, Chair Fleury. Thank you. I did send, we last night and this morning have sent messages to campus leadership, which we have been working with them on for a number of days, to outline some additional guidance for the reopening of the campuses given the continued pandemic. And so I did send those off to the board this morning as well, so that you have them. But I thought I'd just run through a couple of things. As President Chang said, I just, I'm always the one who gets to report on COVID. That's been my role for the last 2 years, it feels like now. But there are a ton of people doing this work behind the scenes. And I do want to take a second to thank them. So on the system office team, we couldn't do this without Ernestine Weaver and Andy Kripp and his team and Angelo Simone, who have been just really making sure that we cross all of the T's. And Angelo has been doing tremendous work to make sure we take care of our students during this process. Janelle Wright, who has been, it was our VP of purchasing, has been our testing vendor liaison throughout this whole process. And again, all the nits of contracts with vendors have been taken care of by Janelle. And so I really can't thank those folks enough. And then I have the pleasure, I have to say, of working with the COVID coordinators of the 17 schools. And we meet very regularly. They meet as well with me and Department of Public Health. And they've been at the front lines of this. And I know that we all hoped that we wouldn't be at the front lines of this for the opening of the fall semester. But again, they have done tremendous work, and we've shared lots of pain and lots of humor as we've gone through this. And then lastly, I just have to thank the campus leadership who, also at the front lines, but has been just stalwart in their work to make sure they have safe campuses and that everybody's aware of what's going on. So again, just a real team effort, even though I'm the one who's sitting here today, and I couldn't do it without them. And I probably missed some people, and just know that I really appreciate all of it. So we have sent out a memo that outlines some of the virus mitigation that we are doing. We really had hoped, as we left the spring semester, we were in tremendously good shape. The virus was low. We'd had no positive cases on campus to speak of in the last weeks of the semester. So I had been really hopeful that we're turning the corner. We probably still are, but we have a few bumps in the road that we're dealing with. So as you know, at your meeting last spring, you called for a vaccine mandate for students. So that is well underway. And we are gathering attestations of their vaccine status and also exemption requests. And we've been continuing to work through those. They are, in line with what they have done at the University of Connecticut. We did this kind of in tandem. And so we will start the fall with a number of people who are not vaccinated, but far more who are. And we're excited about that. And we will continue to encourage students to get the vaccine during the course of the semester. And we're making that available on campus whenever possible, but certainly pushing that in the community. And we have many students who are halfway through the process, so we just need to get them their second shots as well. So doing all of that work now at the community colleges. A vaccine mandate and the corresponding testing is new. And so I'll speak to that for a second. But the universities are largely doing what they did in the fall and spring, again, but with a smaller population of students, given that many have been vaccinated. At the community colleges, we are getting a lot of requests and questions about the vaccine at the moment. As you know, community college students tend to register close to the start of classes. So we're expecting a very busy few days ahead of us. We will be testing this year at the community colleges. So again, Janelle Wright and the COVID coordinators are working on that as we speak. And so we will be doing testing for all of those who are not vaccinated, and encouraging, again, students to get vaccinated during the course of the semester. But that work is underway. In the memos that I sent to you, there's a very brief mention of it because the details will be coming for the community colleges in the week, in the week ahead before we start the semester. All of our universities and colleges are also doing a form of contact tracing in partnership with local public health so that we can quickly identify those who have been exposed to somebody who is positive and help to mitigate that risk for others. So we will be working really closely with local public health as we did even at the community colleges last fall and spring. So that will continue. So our goal is really a strong return to the classroom and to on-ground services for students. I will say at the universities, the majority of their classes will be on ground and their services are on ground. At the colleges, we are still, hovering below 50% of our classes being on ground. Do expect that we hopefully will have some late starts that will allow us to continue to bring students on campus as they feel comfortable, and as we can make more and more classes available. So we are doing strong mitigation strategies, though, given where we are in the community with the virus. So we are all returning to campus masked, indoors, regardless of whether or not you are vaccinated. And we're continuing to operate with some physical distance in the classrooms to help to mitigate the risk as well, and in our student services offices. So, we've got lots going on, but feel like we can have a good return this fall, and look forward to welcoming students back to our campuses in a full and vibrant educational community. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm happy to take questions without a first or second, since I have no motion. Since I have no motion to present to you today, just an update.
Alice,
Please, Elise.
I'm just curious, just because, there are a lot of organizations that are following the same process that you just described. Will the classrooms have masks in there? So we've
Yes.
purchased masks. So if somebody comes in and forgets, okay.
Yes, we still have a good bit of supply available to the campuses, should they need it for that. I think, people have gotten quite used to wearing masks and have their favorite masks that they wear, but we will always be ready if that is an issue. But we expect, the minute someone crosses the threshold into a building, that their mask is up and they're wearing it at all times until the guidance changes. And then we do hope it will be able to be lessened, particularly for those who are fully vaccinated, as we move into the semester. But that's how we'll start for sure.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Yes, Merle.
Can a student in a residence hall be assigned a room with an unvaccinated student? I know this because this is happening to one of my grandchildren at a university.
Yes.
Disturbed.
Yes, Ernestine, I don't know if you want to take it, or I can just say yes. Leave it at that.
Is there anything that the vaccinated student can do about it? Or how do you live in a room with an unvaccinated student? You sleep with a mask on?
Well, once again, it's the unvaccinated student that's primarily taking the risk as opposed to the vaccinated student. We are trying to gather as many exemptions sorry, not exemptions, but encourage as many people to get as vaccinated as possible. But at this point in time, we are still allowing for exemptions, and that would include in the residence halls.
We do expect the universities in particular are going to be reporting some of their numbers in the coming days as they have open forums and discussions, and expect that they're going to have a better sense as they get closer to the start of what the percentage of students are that are not vaccinated in the residence halls as a subset of all students. And I'm sure that they will take those, if there are issues there, Dr. Harris, I'm sure that they will take those under advisement with their VPs of student affairs and residence hall directors.
The other question I have is, when we test students, do we pay for the testing, or is that a government issue?
So at this time, the state has been the primary payer of our testing program and will continue to do so. They do, our vendors in some cases have been asked to bill insurance first, if possible, as a first payer, and then the state will cover the balance. But in most cases, the state is the payer, and they're using federal resources that they have to either reimburse us or pay directly. So they have been the payer to date. I am not sure that will always be the case, but they have been the payer to date. You're welcome. I should mention too that some of our schools continue to be sites for community testing and community vaccines. And again, thank those, COVID coordinators who have made that possible for their broader community and not just the campus community. So,
Alice, I think
yes,
it's
please.
a good point where you have a vaccinated individual who's gone through the process, done what I believe should be done for students, faculty, and staff, by the way, be vaccinated, and is rooming with someone who chooses not to be vaccinated. Why wouldn't they consider putting all the unvaccinated people on one floor of a dormitory and let the vaccinated people room together? I mean, does that sound far-fetched? And no, it can't be
There's
prejudicial.
guidance from the CDC that suggests that we not cohort unvaccinated students. And so we've been following their guidance. But, you know, again, I think on a case-by-case basis, this could certainly be brought to the attention of the institution to see if there are options. We do have, we are not at capacity in our housing, sadly. So I think we do have some flexibility if need be, as well as continuing to hold some rooms available should we have to isolate students who have gotten a positive test result. Ernestine, did you want to?
I just wanted to mention for those students who are unvaccinated because they actually have medical conditions that require them to, where they're not able to be vaccinated, those students can request accommodations for housing, and then those situations will, of course, be addressed and considered.
Yeah, so we're pushing the vaccine. That's the goal. That's certainly the goal.
Thank you. Just regarding faculty and staff, I want to just point back to the resolution which resolved, among other things, that the administration is authorized to create and promulgate COVID limitation requirements, including requiring vaccination for all employees. So the board has been unambiguous in our statement that we believe the vaccine for everybody, including faculty and staff, is crucial. And it now remains that the various contractual matters related to that be resolved. We've read that that's been resolved at UConn, and I know that there's a continued effort to do that in our system. We've had the FAC representatives advocating very strongly for this, as well as the rest of us on the board. So I just wondered if you could provide an update and let us know what we can expect to see in terms of faculty and staff vaccination.
Absolutely. And we have continued to work on that since the beginning, but I'll ask Andy to speak to where we are at this point in the process.
We're in good shape, thankfully. I think with some of the work done with the CBAC unions on testing as well as UConn, we expect the unions to have full approval of the MOA we've been working on with them this Friday by 3 o'clock. So we met yesterday. 2 of the unions do need to take the finalized MOA to their executive boards, and they both committed to coming back, and they expect a positive outcome. Work closely with Ernestine and her team to get the right structure and all of the testing. So it'll be very similar to what UConn came up with, and we'll achieve all of the objectives we're looking for to ensure that we can confirm vaccine status and manage those through an appropriate exemption process and engage in necessary testing to keep everybody safe. So Friday around 3 o'clock, I hope to send you all an email that we have a signed agreement. There's no more language discussions. They've just got to present it to their e-boards.
All right, great. Thank you, Andy. I know it's an important, complex process, and these contracts have to be honored. But I've also read that, you know, far and away, the preponderance of opinion among our faculty and staff is that this is the right thing to do. It's just getting it done and getting it done the right way. So that's terrific. Okay. Anything further on that, Alice, or Andy?
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and echo certainly your appreciation and recognition for everybody on this call and across the system working on this at every level, because it is a most complex and challenging and far-reaching endeavor that sadly, as you said, isn't going away as quickly as we'd like, but with good efforts like this, we'll be on the right track faster. Okay. I think that wraps up today's agenda. Let me ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all. Take good care of yourselves.
Thank you.
Too.
Bye-bye.
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 And your live stream is stopped.
I can't get